سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم قل رب زدني علما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولكم في القصاص حياة يا أولي الألباب لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. So continuing the discussion on qisas, or the retribution in the case of homicide. So there's a few points that we wanted to just complete this discussion with. Number one, as we mentioned earlier, that qisas, or taking the life for the life, is in what we call culpable homicide, which is either the person admits that he actually intended to kill the person, or he doesn't admit that, but he has used a weapon that he usually would kill someone. Yani yaqtul ghaliban, as we say in Arabic. For example, if somebody pointed a gun at somebody's head and shot it and said, I was just, I was just joking, so we're not going to accept that, right? So either he admits that he actually killed in the case of something which doesn't kill generally, or using a weapon or using an instrument that generally would kill someone. So this is going to be considered, homicide in which qisas is be taken. Then, if that is not the case, in unintentional killing, that has separate rulings. So qisas is not to be exacted in that case. Secondly, there is the option of as we mentioned, the affair of qisas is to be, retribution is to be, or it is the right of the inheritors. So in the case of all the inheritors agreeing that they will take retribution and qisas, then it will be exacted. However, if some or any of the inheritors excuse the killer, so now the affair will now go from qisas, or from retribution, to what we call diya, or the blood money. So in that case, the blood money will be that person who has excused, he's excused, and he doesn't have any right to anything after that. However, the rest of the inheritors, they will divide the inheritance of that blood money according to their share in the inheritance. Okay. Also, there's an option, what we call a sulh al-mal. Other than the diya, perhaps the inheritors come to some agreement with the killer or his attorneys on some particular amount or some other agreement, so that is also acceptable. And lastly, we wanted to again mention that in the case of retribution being decided, or it is actually it is ascertained that actually qisas is to be exacted, then this is not to be taken out by the inheritors themselves without the authority of the state, as we say, Amr al-Hakim. So the Islamic judge, or the Islamic the ruler who has been vested authority in these matters, under his supervision, qisas will be taken out. It's not for everybody can just make these decisions on themselves. Another thing, also a question came up yesterday, one of our brothers, so I thought that we should share that, because that happens in a lot of societies. It may even happen here. What happens is that, for example, somebody's brother gets killed. Okay, so the brother who was killed, so that family says, okay, we're going to kill that family's brother, or we'll kill our son was killed, so we'll kill their son. No, it doesn't work like that. They say, well, it's a son for a son, or a brother for... No. Just as the sort of mentions, it's not a question of, killing someone because someone similar was killed, in our tribe. The fact of the matter is that only the person who is guilty of the act of killing, he's to be taken to task. not the rest of his family. You see, then we have another thing which is called al-asaba. That is another old set of regulations. That, for example, if somebody kills someone unintentionally, and so diya is to be paid, the blood money is to be paid. So those around him, for example, his community or his market, if he works in a particular, trade or profession, so they all get together and help him out. That's a separate issue. Um, but here, um, what was the issue? Lost my train of thought.
Brother his brother.
Yeah. So here, we don't have anything like that, you see. The brother is not to be killed for a brother or the son for the son. The person who has actually killed, he'll be taking retribution. Yes. Yeah. What I wanted to mention was suppose others also helped him. In fact, suppose a number of people got together and killed someone. So during the time of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that actually took place, and a number of people actually got together, and they all together, all beat or killed or stabbed or whatever, I forget what the situation was, and they killed an individual. So Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu gave the decision that all of them are to be executed. And he said, لو تمال عليهم أهل الصنعاء جميعا لقتلتموهم جميعا. وكما قال. He said, if the entire, town or city of Sana'a in Yemen, they all got together to kill this individual, I would have taken retribution from all of them. So in this, we see the perfect justice of Islam. The killer gets killed, nobody else. And anyone who has been also responsible for that. Okay, so if someone was also complicit or helped him out, or could have actually prevented that. So it would be up to the qadi or the Islamic judge to decide a befitting punishment or recompense for that person. But in any case, they wouldn't be killed unless they were actively, physically engaged in the act of killing together with the killer. And will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq and keep us far away from any of these sins and having to get involved in these injunctions. Ameen thumma ameen wa akhir da'wana. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.